Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my LinkedIn Lives. It's been nearly a couple of months actually, but today I'm back and I'm super excited. And as you know, I'm a certified wellbeing expert working with educational institutions and companies, helping them with their family wellbeing challenges. And every week, well, apart from the last month, I interview different experts who make a difference. And today I'm really, really excited to be interviewing Kay. Hi, Kay.
Hello, thank you for having me.
No, thank you so much for coming on. And can you tell us about yourself and what you do?
I'm a style strategist and I've been in the fashion industry for my entire career. For many years, I've been consulting luxury brands and have been working with celebrities. And 5 years ago, I founded my company, which is called Mind Over Fashion. And I concentrate on helping leaders and speakers, so people in the public eye, people who have to be in front of audiences, to elevate their style. And a lot of the content which I produce is connected with human behavior and
Mm.
why we do things the way we do it. So this conversation is very relevant to what I speak about. So I was really glad when you approached me to do this.
No, thank you so much. It's so interesting. I love the work you do, and I just thought it's just a whole another topic that we haven't actually had on in all the years that I've been doing these LinkedIn Lives. So I just thought you would be the perfect person to talk about this. So where do we start with this topic then? Because there's so many ways we can discuss this. What do you think is the most important thing to start with?
Well, because your content or the way when we were talking about what would be interesting to speak about today was a lot of it was to do with belonging. And it's a primal need to belong. It's something which we can say, I'm not bothered, or we can say it doesn't matter, but it does matter. It's something which comes from our old brains, and we feel like if we don't belong, we're gonna die. And
Okay.
one of the ways to belong and to connect with other people, and belonging and connection is kind of similar, right? Because if you're connected with somebody, it means you belong to their community. And one of the ways to connect and to belong is through a non-verbal way of the way we look. And I think I can't quote this, but I think it's about 83% of how we communicate is actually through non-verbal way of communicating. It's not through words, it's through gestures and through the way
Yeah.
we look, what we signal. And this is what I help with. And this is, and for many years, because for whatever reason, I was given this skill, this gift of being interested in style and kind of looking at somebody and thinking what would make them shine, what would make them look better. And I've been questioning myself for many years, why is it important? It seems a bit superficial. And I came to the conclusion of what I just described to you, that the reason why it's important is because it's part of who we are. And there
Mm.
is a lot we can communicate through the way we look, and we can communicate our values and our preferences and what we're interested in. If you are interested in clothes, you can be flamboyant and extravagant and communicate to people in front of you, this is who I am, this is how I express myself. If you're
Yeah.
not into clothes and you're creative in other ways, you don't have to do this. You can just polish it up a bit. And that, by the way, doesn't mean you have to be wearing heels or suits. That just means it's kind of a balanced look. It makes sense in the situation where you are. It makes sense in terms of what you are communicating. And uh,
Definitely. Oh, we've
yeah,
just got
so
another question. We've just got a question. The first question. Sorry. No, what you're saying is so interesting. We've got a question on YouTube. Hi, Sarah. How are you doing? Okay. She says, "How do I figure out what style really feels like me without worrying what others think?
That's a very good question. So I always approach it from your personal comfort first. So forget about everybody else. The first thing you need to ask yourself what your comfort zone is. What are you comfortable with? And that applies to both your emotional comfort and physical comfort. So do you prefer structured things or loose shapes, oversized or fitted? What kind of fabrics? That's about physical touch. Do you prefer natural fibers, or maybe you don't like ironing? In that case, synthetic mixes is a better idea. And then you think, okay, what am I comfortable with in terms of my emotional comfort? As I was mentioning earlier, do I like expressing myself through clothes? Then let me go full on bold outfits, something extravagant, something out there. Or do I just want to minimize the time spent? I'm thinking about it. Think Steve Jobs, always the same outfit.
Yeah,
He
I
took
like that actually.
he took out of the equation. It was just the same look, and people remembered him for that. So it wasn't completely not thought through. There was a thought put into this, but at the same time, there was no time spent. Once it was decided, it was good to go, and that's it. And he got known for this, and this is what you can do as well. And sometimes women ask me, it's easier for men to do this, can women do the same? And I would say, if you do want to simplify things, one tip I would give you is you can't go for bold colors. So I think, because if you just wear one color, which is a bright color, it might be a little bit too much. So you do need to bring a little bit of variety. You can prioritize a color, but not just always the same. So you go for some more neutral palette, but within that, then it won't be as noticeable, but it will be polished and good quality. And again, it can be something you are known for as that being you.
Do you think the color is the first thing to choose, or not?
I would say it goes hand in hand. So the color and the shape are the two things which you do need to look at first before you. It's like a building block, the foundation, before you think about your messaging. But just going back to Sarah's question, then how can you be authentic to yourself and at the same time, I think she was asking kind of
not worry about what others think.
Not worry about what others think. I would reframe that. I would not worry what others think, but I would take that into consideration and think of it as your power. Because knowledge is our knowledge is our power. More we know about what others think and how we can play that to our advantage, better results we will get. In the same way as with everything else in in business and in life, when we're thinking about, okay, how do I communicate this to my spouse or to my colleague, you're kind of coming up with the script. So make your outfit part of that script. What will make them comfortable? What will make them connect with you faster?
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yep. She said, thank you so much. Thank you, Sarah. Oh, we've got a question here on LinkedIn. Thank you. We've got a question here on LinkedIn, but I can't see the name. He or she, hi, thank you for joining, says, you mentioned 83% of communication is non-verbal. Is there any data literature to validate this? Very interesting and informative session.
Thank you. You can Google it yourself. You can ask AI. I think one of the books which really was interesting for me was a book called Influence by Robert Cialdini. And he talks in that book about various studies done on people getting more paid if their look is more balanced, or like you can say more beautiful people, whatever, more better looking people get paid more and are voted, getting voted and elected more and so on. And he does back it up with more data. What I would add to this is that I find as we get older, we get smarter and wiser, and there are lots of things, lots of natural things we can do to our appearance to balance out our look. And I'm talking about spectacles, hairstyles. For male, equivalent would be beards and mustache and stuff like this. And the shapes in clothes and the colors which make us shine, which support our complexion, which make us look radiant. So there are loads and loads of things which we can do to our appearance to balance it out and to make ourselves more appealing, right?
Thank you so much. And that's from Prabhu. Hi, Prabhu. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you, everybody else, for joining. If anybody else has any questions about our topic today, please let us know. We would love to hear from you. So yes, carry on, Kay, then. So I know we interrupted with this question, but what else would be important? So we've spoken about color and fit, which is quite hard actually to know as well, I think. Well, I think for me, I think color would be quite easy, but the fit, how do we know? Is it just about trying on different things?
Yeah, so one of the exercises you can do, and what I would highly encourage you to do, is to experiment. You don't have to buy new stuff. You can go to the store, a big department store, and try on 30 different styles, which you haven't ever tried before, and start noticing and take lots of pictures, because it's more visible afterwards. You can lay them out either on your screen or print them out and take lots of pictures and try to understand, okay, the sleeve on this garment is designed this way. The neckline is on this garment is like that. And try to work out what works better and why. As I said, it becomes much clearer when you see it visually, right?
Definitely.
Next to each other. And that's a very helpful exercise. And then try to find some inspiration figures whose style you like, who have similar body type to you. Because what happens usually, and what is really unhelpful, is when we tend to look at models and think, oh, this top looks amazing, and then we get the top and then it looks terrible on us. And we think nothing works on us. So, and this is part of where you can think about it as one of CBT methods, where you try not to over generalize, right? It's not that everything looks terrible on you. It's why. Try to look at it from scientific perspective. Why does this not look good? Are there any other types of dresses or tops or trouser cuts which I haven't tried, which might look better?
I guess from what you're saying, it's about putting in time as well. It's about, it's not going to happen overnight, is it? But would you, before we've got another question, but would you say this is something we can do by ourselves, or is it good to do it with someone else, like experts like you, for example, or can we do it by ourselves?
So we people obviously get much faster results when they seek someone else's help, right?
Sure.
If I've been doing this for years and this is what I specialize in, I can do for you in one day, which might take you years to get to. So it's a personal decision how you want to approach this. I, for example, myself, I do seek out a lot of external help in the areas which I'm not comfortable with. For example, one of them is numbers. I'm not comfortable with numbers. For me, it's just, just look at this at the page or a screen. I don't understand anything. So I bring a financial advisor in. I have a business partner who does spreadsheets and everything because I'm useless. And that means that my business is thriving now because I'm doing this. If I wasn't, it wouldn't be. So I would say that probably applies to everybody.
Brilliant. Hi, Desi. How are you doing? This is an old friend of mine, Desi. Lovely to see you join us. We have to catch up soon, by the way. Desi says, how do we know what colors suit us best? Is there an app or guide we can refer to?
I would highly encourage you, Desi, to do a color analysis. It's not something which is really expensive, and there are lots of people out there, like stylists, who can do this, including myself. And it's one of the best investments, I would say, you would have for the money you spend, because it does make a huge difference. You can do this through AI. I get sometimes people sending me, what do you think? I've just done it with AI, and it's not always correct. So I wouldn't. It's nice to play with, for sure. I wouldn't at this stage rely on it. I think AI is amazing, and I think it potentially will get there. I think it's probably something which will happen in the future, where you would be able to do this through AI.
Probably. But thank you so much, Desi. That was amazing. And right, okay, don't understand that one. Right, no, thank you so much. We've got another question actually on YouTube. Lots of questions coming in today. It's such a fascinating topic. So, hi Zara, how are you doing? Zara says, what's one small change I can make to feel more confident in my outfit tomorrow?
What's one small change you can make? Look at the fit. So what I would do is, if you're talking about specific outfit, put it on, look in the full length mirror, and if you haven't got a full length mirror, get one in the future.
Oh, right, yeah, that's good.
And check for the fit. Is the waistline in the right place? Is the trouser length correct? If it's a dress or a skirt, does the length look good to you? Are the sleeves correct length? So that's one of the things. But I wouldn't answer this question just like this.
No.
I would recommend to look at a bigger picture. So quite often I would get people when, say at a networking event, when I share what I do, quite often people would go granular with me. They would be like, do you think this collar suits me? I think it's a bit too big. If it was a bit smaller, it would be better, and so on, or about shoes. And I quite often think in my head, it's not about the collar, and it might be that that particular item doesn't fit the person at all. So it's going back and making sure that research, either hire an expert or research online and try to work out what suits you in terms of the shape and in terms of the color, and then go to the next step. So the fit is extremely important, and it's something which I talk about a lot, is the fit of your outfit. But if the fit is right, but the outfit is, for example, outdated, that's not going to help, because staying up to date is also really important in terms of connecting with people around you.
No, definitely. No, I love that. And do you think, how important do you think, because you mentioned a lot, like have a look in the mirror, see how you feel, do you think it looks good? And do you think, how important is it for us to trust ourselves? Because, sometimes we could be with somebody, a friend or something, and we might feel really good with something, with what we're wearing, but a friend might say, oh, that doesn't look good on you. Like, how important is it to trust our own opinion and judgment?
From my experience, a lot of people have great intuition on what works. So it's about, my job generally is about bringing it up to the surface to make it a conscious choice. I would say if you really like something and your friend says, I don't like it, ask why. And if they don't know why, keep asking, and then have a conversation with yourself and go through the list of, might it be the color, might it be the cut, might it be that it's out of date, maybe the fit is wrong. So ask yourself those questions, because there must be something there. I mean, sometimes, for example, my husband is not into clothes and I'm into clothes. Some of the stuff I'm wearing is more out there. which he might, I mean, he wouldn't normally dare to comment, but if he did, he might be like, oh, that's to him it might be too much. But this is where that's the next step. So this is, I'm comfortable with what I'm wearing, and to his view it was too much, but that might be because like we're in different circles. People I am around, I surround myself with, might not be the same as what his
Yes.
understanding is, right? So if I'm going on a date with him, for example, I will think differently to if I'm going to a fashion show, right?
Yes, of course. No, I think it's really interesting what you said, and it sounds like having a checklist could be really beneficial,
Yeah, for sure.
and then you can just mark off everything, can't you? So I really like that idea. So what else then? I know we're running out of time, but this is so interesting. There's so much to know about this. What else do you think is important for us to know about dressing to belong and feeling connected?
Well, I didn't speak too much about, I touched on looking dated or looking current. And the reason why it's important is like, it's because you want to create the sense of familiarity with someone. What I was talking about with belonging, right? Belonging to a community, and it's about this sense of familiarity where it's like we've got computers with imagery in our head. So when we are looking at social media, when we're walking in the street, we're watching TV, we keep seeing images of people wearing certain things. And whether we want it or not, those things and those shapes become familiar to us.
Definitely.
And when something becomes familiar to us, we become comfortable with it, right? And we want that comfort. So when you're wearing something dated, it might indicate to people that your ideas are also out of date, right? And this is especially important in business. If you're trying to get clients, you want to be current. So looking at long-term trends and making sure that you are in the know, you know what is happening out there, in the same way as trends in other areas, not just fashion, but obviously I'm talking about clothes, is really important.
Interesting. No, thank you so much for sharing. We've got another question here. We are running out of time, everybody. So please, if you have any questions or comments, please let us know. Right, it's from Peter. Hi, Peter. How are you doing? Thank you for joining.
Hi, Peter.
He says, if I want my clothes to show who I really am, where should I start?
Start with thinking what you do. What is it what are your values? What if it's about your job, your career, your business, what is your business about? Is there any way you can communicate what you do through that? And it won't always be there won't always be the way, but sometimes it's possible, especially for people in more creative careers. Like one of the examples I normally share is an architect. So if you think in your head, what does an architect normally look like, and there is a train of thought. If somebody tells you the word architect, you think architecture, buildings, structure, designer-led clothes. So if I think of architects, quite often they would wear black, right? In fact, I should have asked you this. What do you think normally architects wear? But I'll just go ahead and share. So I think in my head, black, maybe if an architect wears glasses, it would be like thick rimmed black frames, right? Something like this.
Okay.
So there is structure and there is definitely creativity and design coming through. And so this is how an architect can communicate what they do. And think, Peter, for yourself, is there anything you can do? Or if there isn't anything in that way, then write a list of values and in your business. And is there any way you can communicate it? Are you approachable, or are you an authority? And make sure that it's aligned.
Very helpful. Thanks. Okay. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Kay. Okay, one last question from Desi, because we'll be stopping very shortly. Desi says, what if you don't want to follow the latest fad? What is the classic and classy look?
Well, you probably, Desi, if you think about it, you have pictures in your head of a classic look. What I would say is make sure that you pay attention to details. It's hair, makeup, jewelry, footwear, because this is what can make it or break it in your outfit.
Right.
So it's not specifically, there is, if you look at the current trends in footwear, you can within those trends find something which looked good 10 years ago and will look good in the future. But just make sure it's not something where the trend changed and now it's not relevant. Very simple example, Mary Janes are popular now, but Mary Janes now are the flat ones. They have certain look to them. If you look at Mary Janes back in the 80s, they were with the heel a bit more kitten heel. You would recognize if I tell you this is a trendy Mary Jane and this is a Mary Jane from the 80s, you will be able to tell which one is which, right? If I did a test with you, which one was released now and which one was back 30 years ago. So make sure that if you do want to go for a classy look, don't go for trends like this. Go for something super, super simple, which is not going to give away that when it was made.
Interesting. Thank you, Desi. Thank you so much for your question. Very interesting. No, thank you so much, Kay. Before we go, I mean, it's been such a pleasure talking to you, and there's so many more things I want to know. But before we go, is there anything else you'd like to say that you feel like is really important? And also, how can people find you?
Well, I think I've said a lot and probably a lot to think about, so I won't mention anything else. But okay. In terms of how to connect with me, please connect with me on LinkedIn. If you just put my name in there, I should come up, Korsh, and please drop me a line and say that you saw me on this live, and then you can ask me any follow-up questions. And also I have a really fun resource actually on colors. It's how to combine colors together. So for example, if you didn't do your color analysis and you have colors in your business and you found out that the colors don't match, how do you find a compromise and find complementary colors, and also how to use color to your advantage in your business. And it's a fun quiz, and I'll share a link with you, and
yes,
you can put it in there.
Can you post it on the original post, and then people can just click on it?
Okay, yeah, I will.
Thanks, Kay. And any other links you have, please just post them there, and then people can contact you or send you a message. And yeah, if anybody has any questions for Kay, please put them, message Kay directly or put a question on the post. That's absolutely fine. And thank you everyone for joining. And thank you so much, Kay. It's been an absolute pleasure, really interesting. And I will see everybody next week.
Thank you for having me.